JavaScript tutorial 6, we're looking at arrays in JavaScript. First, we'll look at how to make an array, and then we'll use a for loop to cycle through each element in an array. Let's start off by making an array. Let's say let array1 equal square brackets. The square brackets just indicate that this is an array that we've just made. And what is an array? An array is just like a list of variables. So right now we've essentially just made an empty list. Now let's fill in the items in this list. Let's write array1 and then a set of square brackets. In the square brackets, we're going to put a 0 because the first item in the array is actually numbered item 0, which seems kind of confusing at first, but you get used to it pretty quick. So we have array1, the 0th element. Let's just give it a value of 10 right now. And let's fill in the next few items in the array. Let's say array1, the first element equals 15. And the second element, let's set it to 5. So right now we have a list called array1, and this list has 3 items, 3 elements inside of it. The first one, the 0th element, has a value of 10. The second element, the second item, has a value of 15, and the third item has a value of 5. Let's log this array to the console and open it up in our browser. Console.log array1. In the console, it says we have an array with 3 elements in it, which is correct, and those elements are 10, 15, and 5. There is a quicker way we can make arrays as well. We don't have to write all of this out on 4 lines here. Instead, we could just put the values for the array inside of the original square brackets that we made. So in here, we can just write 10, 15, 5. And this gives us the exact same thing, just with less code. And it shows up a little bit different in the console when we make the array in this way, but it is the exact same thing. Making the array like this is called array literal notation. Let's use array literal notation to write another array. This time, let's fill it with string elements. Let's put some names in here. Let's say John, Jack, and Jerry. So we have the array with 3 elements, John, Jack, and Jerry. Something that we do with arrays all the time in JavaScript is going through all of the elements in them inside of a for loop. So let's do that right now. Let's just print out each element individually to the console instead of printing out the whole array to the console like this. I'll keep the console.log array1 there for right now, and let's just write a for loop. We'll say for let I equal 0 while I is less than array1 dot length. Length is just a really handy property that arrays have to let you know how many elements are in it. So this for loop is going to keep going as long as there's still elements in the array. And then we just say I plus plus and console.log array1, and in the square brackets we'll put the value of I. So the first pass through the for loop, it'll print out the 0th element, and then it'll just keep printing out all the rest of the elements in the array. Log this to the console, and we get the original array that we logged here, and then we get the elements printed out individually. There's one more way to make an array that personally I never use, but let's go over it, and just so that in case you ever come across it, you're not wondering what's going on. Let's say let array2 equal new array, and then a set of brackets. So this has just made a new empty array, and then we would just fill it in the same way that we filled the other array. We could say array2 0 equals 17 or whatever we want in here.